Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move! James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name is Nick Engvall, and I'm with my guys Mike and Robbie to talk some kicks. And it's a little bit of a special episode. Episode 100. So, how you guys doing tonight?
Man, I'm feeling good. We got to 100 episodes, and I think it's pretty close to, at least to the month, exactly a year to when we start the podcast. So this is pretty cool all the way around.
I was really hoping you'd toy with everybody and say, we have an announcement. We're getting married. All three of us. It is the 100th episode, which is definitely a celebratory occasion. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for supporting. I mean, it's crazy that we were able to do basically 2 a week for an entire year. So, yeah, I'm just kind of blown away. But as always, we want to shout out a review. This review comes from JC, or it looks like J. Crea, JCREA. Great content, but could be polished up. Hey guys, you mentioned that you weren't seeing many reviews lately, so I thought I'd reach out. First, one of the reasons you might not be getting reviews is because people like me listen on Spotify or other apps that don't let you provide feedback. The part I like about the podcast is the content and the knowledge you collectively present. The part that could be improved is the production quality. If y'all are really serious about keeping this going, I'd recommend everyone investing in quality mics and audio recording software. It would also help to do rehearsal beforehand so everything flows smoothly. There are episodes that would benefit greatly from visuals, be it your YouTube channel or blog or website. I tell you these things from a perspective of someone who's dabbed in sneaker podcasting and has learned from my own mistakes. I also think should you sharpen the production quality and add visual components would significantly up your game. Hope this is helpful. Looking forward to the next episode. That's great feedback. We really, really appreciate the honesty there. And I think these are things that we're definitely aware of and want to work on as we move forward. But we thank you for hopping off of your usual platform and leaving us a review on iTunes. As you mentioned, it's kind of the only place that we can actually get these reviews. So we appreciate everybody that does take the time to hop over to iTunes and leave a review, regardless of what platform you do listen on. So,
yeah, that was actually really like a well thought out, comment and some great feedback. So appreciate it.
Let me clarify, though. We already have a quality mic. He just spoke. But there's challenges that present themselves on the fly while recording. It feels like every time we switch, it's good. And then it'll have a little blip of technical difficulties. So we're always trying, and we'll keep mixing up different platforms of recording to try to make it as good as we can for anybody who listens. But thank you so much for taking the time to switch platforms. I know a lot of people won't go from Twitter to Instagram, for God's sake. So it's really cool to take the time, and we appreciate the thought out and thorough comment. With all honesty.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's just like, it just goes to show like the type of people that are listening. And I really appreciate everybody just, rocking with us for an hour or two each week, whether you're listening to one episode or 2 episodes a week. We're typically pushing right around 45 minutes to an hour every episode. And on top of that, switching platforms is, to leave us a review. I'm super thankful for that. So, so for our 100th episode, our 1-year anniversary, if you will, I'm not going to announce that we're all getting married or anything like that. Sorry, Robbie. But I do think that we should look at the top, let's say the top 10 most listened to episodes. And we'll just run through them real quick. Starting with, no surprise, our history lesson episode with MJO 23 Dan, Marvin, and Mr. Unloved Ones, Kenneth, discussing the airship and the Air Jordan 1. And I mean, this is one of my favorite episodes, so I'm glad that a lot of people seem to agree that this was a good one. What do you guys have to say about this one?
Yo, I love that episode. They dropped so much knowledge on me. It was ridiculous. It was fun just to sit back and listen at that point.
We're going to keep trying to get more people in the gang to pile in like that. It was a lot of fun having all the heads in the pot, really helped put something delicious together for everybody. So I'm very happy to see that other people enjoyed that episode. Thanks for listening to it.
Yeah, I agree. I learned a lot on that one. It's a little bit challenging to have so many people talking, but I think it turned out much better than I anticipated. I was pretty worried about talking over each other and not everybody having enough time to speak, but I think it turned out really, really good. So number 2 was the most searched sneakers of 2019, according to Google. This was just a weird list, and I'm surprised that so many people listened to this episode, but maybe it was the Post Malone thumbnail that I used. What do you guys think?
Clickbait. We got them in with the Post Malone, and they stayed for the crazy list we put out.
What I thought is funny about that Post Malone comment is I was watching TV, and he came up in 2 commercials in a row, a Doritos commercial and a Bud Light commercial, like back to back. So maybe we should start having Post Malone as the thumbnail to every episode just for that good old clickbait.
You know what? Post Malone, just come record with us. I mean, you're just hanging out getting face tattoos, so it's cool.
No, I hate Post Malone. I can't stand that.
No, come on. I like the guy.
Went sideways quick.
Yeah. We'll just do an episode. Robbie can set that one out. I would love to talk about sneakers, man. That dude is wild though, because obviously he's got a pretty unique sound, and this is a little off topic from the list of the most popular shows, but he's actually really incredibly musically talented. If you ever want to see like his actual talent as opposed to like, kind of the Doritos commercials and the Bud Light commercials and stuff, just look up some of the covers that he's sang over the years on YouTube. It's really impressive, but I digress. So the third one was Travis Scott and the Nike Dunk and the 2020 Air Jordan retro releases. So this one was mid-January. I don't know. I'm not like blown away by Travis Scott and the dunks and all this trend. So I don't know. I guess I expected this one to do well, but I didn't expect it to be one of our, top 3 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those ones that, I mean, dunks were such are such a hot topic again that it just, I think that was good timing. I mean, I like the fact that when we speak about it, we're not really too, enamored or, jaded by the releases, that we can speak honestly about them and, say our true thoughts. So, hey, if people enjoy that, thank you for listening to our crazy thought process.
That episode can be summed up by the American poet Missy Elliott. I'm not a prostitute, but I can give you what you want.
Oh man!
And that's with dunks and Travis Scott.
I was like, I want to go down deeper into that rabbit hole. Let's see what he has to say.
So number 4 on the most popular episodes so far, remembering Kobe Bryant, his legacy and his impact on basketball sneakers. Obviously a tough one, but what do you guys think about this one?
I mean, there's not much to say about it. I mean, we were all, not only us on the podcast, but everybody who listens, everyone who's into sneakers and basketball. I mean, we all were just fans of Kobe. Even if you hated him because he destroyed your team, you were still a fan of his, who he was, and just being able to sit and talk about it, remember him with friends while that's such a hard time of the world losing him. Even if it wasn't a top 10 list, I think it'd still be one of my favorites.
Yeah, I had a hard time talking about it, and then Tom Cruise came down and shined his light, and I had connectivity issues. I'm not making that up. So I couldn't process it, and so my computer couldn't process it, so I didn't really get too much in that conversation. But myself and my intimate thoughts know how I feel about that. But thanks for everybody to coming together and listening to that episode.
Yeah, most definitely. What are we at? Number 5 here. Kylie Jenner wearing SB Dunks. Obviously, I don't know. Well, maybe we should just talk about dunks every week.
Well, your piece that you wrote to coincide with that one, Nick, I mean, that was like the perfect combination. So I think we have to give your writing some props on why this one did so well.
I mean, well, I appreciate it. I don't know that it. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like we got to look at the glass half full, and I think her and her gazillions of followers getting to see something that they might not have seen, and bringing new energy to sneakers is always going to be a good thing, no matter who that person is. I know that's blasphemous to say as someone who's old and grew up watching Michael Jordan, but I look at this kind of stuff as like, how do you reinterpret those stories, right? And if it's Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott and whomever else, then hey, at least there's a younger audience that's getting excited about this stuff that eventually they're going to need to know the story behind it so they can come listen to the podcast or come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast.
That was one of my favorite topic points because it was an angle I would not have thought of if it wasn't for the great Nick here. And I'm going to leave it on that so I give him less of a choppy transition to the next episode. So
2020 sneaker resolutions and releases we're excited about. So obviously we did this one right around the first of the year. I thought I love doing these kind of things because I think that we can challenge the way we all think, whether it's just the three of us talking or everybody that's listening. I think like putting out there things that we'd like to see change or things that we can actually change ourselves about the way we're approaching things. Whether that's, buying less shoes or buying more shoes or, better organizing or any of the things that go along with it. Like just telling people that you like their kicks is such a powerful thing that I think we all overlook. So this is always one of the things that I appreciate that everybody liked this episode so much, because it's definitely one thing that I think people can feel like we're preaching at them when we're talking about these kind of topics. So glad to see this one on the list.
Yeah, you know what? I need to go back and listen to that episode myself to remember my sneaker resolutions, because I don't know if I'm abiding by them right now, but I need to double check.
Robbie, you're on mute.
He's talking to himself on mute.
No, I just think my opinions are better. No, I mean, I'm pretty sure the uniform thought was to try to buy less shoes, and Nick is holding steadfast to that, while Mike and I kind of fall behind in that race.
Oh, faltering.
Hey, you guys have been getting some good deals though. So yeah.
I'm just going to have to really come through strong the second week of March through April.
When you say come through strong, you mean you're going to buy up everything and just shut it down, or just not buy a thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to shut it down.
Okay. All right.
Like Terminator 2 and Molten Lava. Shut it down.
But he says he's gonna be back. So what does that mean? Like,
that's Terminator 1. I'm talking like the liquid Terminator, like the shapeshifter T2.
He still comes back. He's like 100 years old. He still came back. So that mean you coming back too?
Oh man. So the next one on the list is actually a pretty good one. I actually really appreciated listening to your conversation with Jordy Geller of Shoeseum, Robbie. So this was episode 80. So I guess this happened in like November, December, early December. But obviously there was a lot of crazy stuff about to head to eBay. But just the conversation was really dope, and it was cool that you were able to connect with them to do this.
Yeah, man, that was a solid interview. That was a great listen. Your interview skills are solid, bro. Like, keep those coming.
We've been trying to get together to do another one or just more stuff, but family and young ones are full-time jobs. So TBD, but that was a really fun one to do. And it's always a pleasure walking through the studio, because there's something you've never seen, and you go into like story mode, and then like an hour and a half has gone by, and you're like, oh crap, okay, let's record something. So it's next time we do it.
The next one on the list is Off-White, Dior, Chinese New Year Paris, and more limited edition Air Jordan releases. So obviously there was a lot of buzz going around with this, like the yellow Off-White samples, the Dior stuff. This is like early on in the Dior stuff, so it was like the first look that we got at them. Not surprising that it's popular. I think this is kind of like the stuff that we're all always looking at as like, how does this shit happen, and why, or will they ever make this stuff in a way that we want or that we can afford? So it relates to everybody, in my opinion.
Dior just announced on their website like earlier today that look for it in April, when pop-ups and in-store at Dior will start happening. But I think that's an episode where a lot of people can relate to how we were feeling and what we were saying, because as much as we like to flex on the gram, once things start costing that much, the flexers and flexies start getting separated. So that was a really fun conversation.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a good way of putting it. Next on the list was the complete list of NBA All-Star Weekend sneaker releases. Obviously, All-Star Weekend's probably most important, week, 2 weeks of the sneaker world for the entire year. So not a surprise that this was on the list. There we go. Last but not least, on the top 10 most listened to episodes is another interview that Robbie did with Terrence Watson up there in Portland. This was dope too, because it really kind of shines some light into how much work goes into getting a job in the sneaker business, right? That was like, I just thought this one was great because of that. So hopefully people got that out of listening to this whenever that dropped a couple months back.
Yeah, I mean, just another good interview by Robbie, and then there's a lot of good information. Hopefully people who listen to it, who aspire to be in that world, can get a good real world view of it, as opposed to some kind of, the glamorized things they think they see. So I think it was definitely good episode for the world to see.
Yeah, it's really hard to get a job in the footwear industry full time at the brand of your dreams, and that's something I strive for all the time. So he's definitely an inspiration, and I hang out with him every week. So a really good friend. We've been trying to find ways to talk about other shoe things. Just there's only so much you can talk about with your work that you can and can't say. So more to come on that, but that was probably my favorite episode of all the bunch.
Nice.
So that said, obviously let us know what your favorite episode is. Drop us a comment on Twitter, Instagram. On top of that, really, I would love to know who people think we should have sponsor the podcast. One of my goals this year is to bring on like an actual sponsor so we can, use that money to upgrade equipment and, get better platforms to record through and all of those things. So I would love to know what brands you think should be sponsoring the Sneaker History Podcast. You can let us know on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever is easiest for you. But we'd love to get that feedback directly from those of you that are listening right now, because I don't want to bring in somebody that makes it feel weird. I'm hesitant to do that because I just like talking to you guys on here, and I like, talking to people about the podcast in person. So I'm really hesitant, but if people have some ideas, I would love to hear that. So,
yeah.
What do you guys think? You want to talk about like the best sneaker releases of March?
Yeah. Yeah, look like we got a good amount of them coming through, and it looks like it cooled down for the end of February, and we're going to start up with March pretty quickly. And I think the first thing we got coming up was this weekend, the 7th.
It didn't cool down, though. They had the Travis Scotts last weekend that none of us got. And
that means it was ice cold because I couldn't get it. So let's see. We got a couple things coming out. I think one that is not talked about nearly as much. I mean, I think this one's actually may have already released. It didn't have a date, but I think it's released. But the Japanese Kobe beef inspired ASIC Gel Light 3. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. Look like it's all like Vachetta tan almost. That particular leather, that real soft leather.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? Because I don't really understand the
reference. Not a clue.
The reference, yeah, it does look like one of the like veg tan, shoes that came out, because like those are like super trendy like over the past few years, right? So it seems like we're just repeating history on this one.
Yeah. We don't have to ask Robbie. He's like, move along.
I really like the Gel 3. I mean, of all the ASICs on Earth, that is, I would even say, out of all the running shoe brands that have a lifestyle looking shoe, the Gel Light 3 is my favorite of all of them. So
right.
I'm kind of over that tan. It's been done a lot, but every colorway has been done a lot. So why are we even bitching about it? It's like nothing's really new. But just, if I had to have a gun stuck to my head and told buy a pair of ASICs, I'm like, all right, give me Gel Lights 3s. So I like
Well, shoot. Well, we got that, and then from moving on from ASIC back to good old Jordan brand, we have the I think it's a women's exclusive, but it's a Jordan 2 multicolor, or they call it the Rivals Pack, which has been pretty popular with basically putting colorways mixed together with Jordan's rivals, where you see the Lakers colors, Knicks colors, you had the Seattle Supersonic color, you had Blazer color. So I'm not the biggest 2 fan when it comes to like the mid tops, like the low tops better. But this one seems a bit busy. But I'm hearing it's going to be limited, so that could mean, of course, people are going to, they're going to say they love 2s for a day just to make sure they get that limited release. What you think about this one?
I mean, so the Jordan 2, I've brought this up in the past. I've owned more than a couple pairs, and I always end up getting rid of them because they're just not comfortable to my feet. With that said, the second I see a quilted pattern on the 2, I love it. And the shoe as a whole is not for me, but that quilted segment of red leather around the ankle on the left shoe is fire. Like, if I would like to see them not mix match it and have it be this one color of shoe. Actually, yeah, they're mismatched. One has a green toe, one has a red toe. I don't like that. It's too much going on in this sense. They could have done like a Blue the Great type deal where it's just a lot of bright colors and all, but they match and it's digestible. This, with all the textures and patterns, and I think I see satin on there. Maybe the ladies, they did some marketing research and saw that after some, poignant questioning, ladies like more textures than guys. I don't know, but that's a hard pass, even if it wasn't my size.
Same for me. It's just a little too much going on.
Yeah. I think they're going to sit personally. Even if they are limited, I feel like they're going to sit. Because, like Robbie said, the quilted part's the best part of the sneaker. Everything else can kind of be But let's see there. That was March 5th. Looks like on the following day, March 6th, we get a LeBron 7 Fairfax, which was the PE that released 10 years ago, that we're finally getting a wide release. Me personally, I know Robbie feels the same, and I know Nick likes the LeBron 7 as well, but I will definitely try to pick one up. But at the rate LeBron 7s are going, I may be able to wait for just a smidge bit of time to get it for maybe a couple dollars off. But I know the bigger size go pretty quickly. I think a lot of like hoopers, like high school and college players, definitely bodies to play in. So I don't know. I think they're going to sit for a little bit like the others have, but just I guess it depends on what sizes.
Said the Fairfax 7, right?
Yeah.
So I can't be the first person to have this thought. That's a shoe that when it was a sample, if you would have told me that I had the option to buy it for $200 3 years ago, I would have jumped on it like a hotcake, eating it up. But now that I know I could probably get it at max $50 over retail if I really need to have it, I just don't like the patent leather mud guard. And that was a big part of the LeBron 7, is the inspiration of the Jordan 11 and having that, contrast with the patent mud guard. But it's not nearly as wearable in 2020 to be strutting around in full length Air Max and patent leather toe. So it's harder for me to rock on the casual, which is what I would be buying them for. But just now that I know I can have it, I really don't want it as much. Like, there's many other LeBron 7s I am hot and bothered to get, and this just really isn't one of them. It's still a good shoe, though. Just not. Talk to me if I find it on sale.
I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I think that the LeBron 7 is one of those shoes that almost any colorway, any tasteful colorway, is going to look good on it. I'm not like a crazy fan of the patent leather. I do think it looks good on that shoe more than most shoes. But I don't think this is like of all the PEs of the LeBron 7 that are out there, this is definitely not one that's really ever been on my list of like must-haves. Now, if it's on sale for 30% off or something, or somewhere close to retail maybe, and it's just sitting, I could see myself picking a pair up, but otherwise,
I'm gonna name us the Sneakers on Sale podcast because we all about buying something on sale. Every last one of us.
hey, that's part of the game.
I paid full price for the 7 All-Stars. You did, but it's just like, not just, it's the mud guard, like the black on black. It's just, it's not as wearable as I would like it to be 10 years after its initial release. Or I guess.
No, you're right. Like,
but yeah.
when I see that particular LeBron 7, like, I want to have it to just add to the collection. But I envision like 2010 people wearing like super long, jorts with the matching shirt and baseball cap. So yeah, it's not as wearable today.
Yeah, some Elite Sock V1s popping out the bottom,
All right.
Which I still wear. I have a pair of Elite Sock V1s on as I talk shit about them. So
I mean, I'm looking at a pair. I don't have them on. I'm just looking at my pile of socks here. There's definitely like 2 pairs of them. So they're still good for basketball. All right. So next on our list is kind of, I don't think anybody was asking for this, but I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. But Adidas is bringing back their old bounce technology to introduce a new model called the Micro Bounce T1 that releases on 3.6 as well. This is in that same category of like Nike Shocks. We don't need it back. I had a pair of bounce sneakers back in high school, and I don't ever wish I had them again. So I don't know how you guys feel about these, but these are a no-go for me. I mean, these are going to be sitting and going to be on those finish line the finish line shelves for $49.99 in the next 2 months.
And they're work Crocs.
Yeah, I don't. Not that extreme for me. I definitely like the colorway on it, but I just don't see any reason to bring back this kind of stuff. I mean, the bounce technology is not the most comfortable in my opinion. It's kind of like Nike Shocks. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of either of those. So I'm not really interested in any of the colorways of this coming back, even though they are some pretty good
crazy. But it's like the Climacool stuff. It's like that was in a capsule, and it should be buried about 2007 and not dug back up.
At least the Climacool stuff can be kind of relevant now as a performance model, not necessarily casual model. But there's just no reason for this because this is one of those, I feel like, novelty technologies that just didn't do anything. Just like the blades and, of course, the shocks.
I'm talking just Climacool shoes. The shirts, those are some of the most comfortable workout shirts I've ever worn, were the Climacool T-shirts.
Oh, okay. You just talked about the shoes. Gotcha.
The shoes, forget that. Like, no.
No. All right. So I'm sure I'm going to hear from Robbie on Saturday for this next one. But this is going to be the Jordan 3 UNC pair that's coming out. And it's going to utilize that the redesign they've done to make it closer to the original shape of the Jordan 3 with the lower cut of the elephant print, the reduced padding on the tongue where you can't see it when you look at the front of it, and the higher ankle color that makes sure that little plastic piece doesn't destroy your Achilles. So these are clean. Actually, I might be the few who think this, but I actually like it with the Jumpman on there as opposed to the UNC patch. Because I mean, UNC is cool. I'm not like I didn't go to UNC. I'm not a huge UNC fan. I like watching them play ball, but for someone who's just like, I like Jordans and I appreciate the story behind it, I like the Jordan branding on the tongue.
I'm with you.
My Duke Nation, I'm about to forsake you. They do not say Tar Heel or UNC anywhere on them. And I can now entertain the shoe because of that. If these bad boys are sitting on somebody's swoosh account, like on Wednesday of next week, best believe I'm going to be buying these. Like, they're just super clean. Like, it took me a while, and you made up a lot of good redesign points. But a big one to me is the toe. So the mudguard elephant area, the proportion is different on the toe, and it just fits better, and it looks more. Doesn't matter. It looks more aerodynamic. Looks more spearheaded. It looks better. I like it. But these threes, man, like they're a problem. I love Jordan threes. I don't really talk about them all that much, but threes are up there for me, like many people. So if these are on sale, you will see a post on about Friday or Saturday when they get delivered, and I'm going to be having them.
The only thing I didn't like about these is I wish the outsole was like the Carolina blue as well.
I wish it was navy.
That's my only, or navy. Yeah, that would have been dope too. I just wish the outsole was a different color. But I mean, I'm being super, super picky with it. But yeah.
I mean, if they could have got the UNC branding, it would have been dope if they did a translucent with UNC logo on the bottom.
I'm really happy you brought that up, and you brought up the patch earlier. Support the sneaker community. If you know somebody or you've seen somebody on Instagram, don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, can you do that patch for my shoes too? You're giving somebody who's trying to make a hustle some business. You're making yourself something that maybe somebody else on earth has, but for the most part, nobody else does. And it's a special little thing for yourself. Like, make the investment. If you want it to have the big old, either the Ram or the actual heel logo or just the UNC logo, go get it done. Make your dreams come true. Go support somebody. Go do it.
I like that approach.
My thing is, don't be scared to be different. Yeah.
So on that note, speaking of customizing your shoes, everyone should just go buy a pair of white on white Air Force Ones or black on black Air Force Ones and then paint the Supreme box logo on the heel, right?
Bro, they're supposed to they're going to be really easy to get, and they're going to be restocked all the time, apparently. So I think that's the dopest part. Like, do I want to fuss over a Supreme Air Force One? No. Do I want a pair if I can go cop it on day? Yes. So, I mean, screw the naysayers. If I can just go and buy it, like, I am not a Supreme collector. I'm a Supreme wearer. So it's like, if I can go no hassle into getting a product I like, screw you, I'm buying it. It's like,
what do you think, Mike?
I mean, I'm not a Supreme person at all. Like, I've never, except for a couple of the North Face jackets, I've never really been like, ooh, this is really cool. I've never been a Supreme guy. But Robert brings up a good point of, hey, there are going to be a lot of these. So I think it's really cool for the kids out there who can never get their hands on a Supreme because of those very nice people who buy up all the supply just to resell it for gangs of money. Hopefully they'll be able to get a pair of it, even though it's a kind of a plain Supreme item. But I know that box logo means something to a lot of people. So, man, good luck to you. I hope you have a shot at getting it. For those who actually want it, and like Robbie, want to wear it, want to appreciate it. So, more power to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they lost me at Air Force One, but I don't know.
You have me a little red box saying Supreme on the back, though. So,
yeah. What do you guys think about? I know. We're I think collectively all, for the most part, moved past foam posits. What do you guys think about the white, like the all white foam posits with the pros with they kind of have like that black upper like lace area with the red swoosh on them? Did you see them?
Yeah, if you were to release the pearls, maybe I'll talk to you. These just they look unfinished, if that makes any sense. They look like they're just kind of like, hey, we got these extra foam pros, let's just slap them into a box and call it a day. But I think with all that effort, they could just re-release the foam posit pro pearls, and I think I may have considered it.
230. 230.
230. Oh, God. Yeah, they're too much.
With that in mind, these are my favorite of, and I would say the last 6, these are my favorite. I really liked the All-Star release that were gray, and it had the patch swoosh, the Foam Posit Pro. You remember? Wow. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
These look like they're within the same kind of genus if they're animals. Like this could be really great for customizing. I think it's clean. Just 230. Like I could go, 230. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
that white outsole just kills it to me. I mean, I'm looking at it again. I mean, there's some redeeming qualities, but the white swoosh and white outsole, there's so much there's lack of contrast, and it just makes it look bleh.
that's fair. What's next here? So I don't know if if you guys have seen pictures of the Kawhi 997 Sunsets. Did you see those yet? The New Balances?
No, I saw the Omnis. I didn't see the 997s.
It's basically like they're doing a whole sunset pack, I think. And the 997, it's like the 997 Sport. So it has like the big like end cap reveal thing. It's basically like a black. It almost looks like the tuned air.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Vibe of like orange to red fade kind of stuff. It's actually kind of dope looking. The only thing I don't like about it is like the stripes on the New Balance logo. But I think without that, I would totally rock these.
Yeah. I like the 997 a lot, especially that the Sport where it has that split sole and things like the big end cap reveal. Nice shoe. I just don't want the colorway because you said it yourself. Remnants of the tuned air, and I mean I already have a pair of those, and I feel like there's very specific shoes. Sometimes they just have colorways that are just for them, and I think the tuned air's that colorway is just for that shoe. That's just to me though.
Nick, you hit it right on the nail with that New Balance striped logo. That's just it's a boner kill. It's like I'm right there, and then it's gone. So yeah, no go.
I saw the was it like what's the Presto Proto React? No, not sorry, Presto. The React Presto.
React?
The new React Presto is coming out in that pistachio frost kind of weirdness. I don't know how I feel about it, but I still am curious to try a pair of those shoes, so I'm mentioning it. But I think it comes out.
It's a cool colorway. I still own the Chatty Matadors, which is super comfortable. My advice on these is not that it's a bad shoe whatsoever. Just wait 30 days; they'll be on sale for $99.
That's probably a good point.
I love the Presto React. It's one of the more comfortable shoes. But let me tell you, you cannot wear it with a bike ride. Like there's a big kind of gap in the arch, and it has this really weird like caved outsole. So when you try to pedal a bike, they slip and it doesn't fit right. Other than that, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
So next up, I want to switch it up a little bit because we don't really talk about Yeezys, but I know they're doing like the Desert Sage 350 and then the 380. I forget the name that they're using, but it's like Mist. Is it Mist? I think it's Mist.
Yeah, is it Alien? Well, I guess Alien was the first color, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Are any of the new Yeezys going to be on your guys' like top list this month?
Actually, I like that. 380 is just one of those things. It's not on my top list because I don't feel like reeling from disappointment because it's so difficult to get the new models. Between that one and the 700 V3, it's next to impossible to get your hands on them.
Does the $230 price point change things?
But 200. Oh well, then no, I can buy something else. There's something else. My eyes are on that. I can get a couple of them for $230.
Right. It's a pretty tall ask. The Earth pair, those already came out, but that's still a new one. Or maybe they come out this weekend. But the Earth, last weekend. I think those are still dope. Like, that's the right kind of off color that really the 350 looks great utilizing. I think the flax ones look pretty cool for the same reason. I could give a crud less. Couldn't give a crud less about the Quantums. The 700 MNVN, I think, is just an abomination. That's a no-no. But the Earth and the flax, I think, are two good monochrome colors and a sea full of bad ones. So those are dope.
All right, that's fair. I still can't fathom paying $200 for a pair of $220, $230 for a pair of Yeezys. So I'm probably going to pass on all of it.
But let me play a game with you then, Nick. So you'll pay $180 to $200 for an Ultra Boost, this in a vacuum, but the $220 for a Yeezy Boost, it's just $20, and the upper is something different. And you don't have I'm only saying this because I know you don't have a pair. So I'm just like, well, if you can find a pair for retail, it's not too far out of your realm to where it's grossly expensive. But once they're on foot, they're just as comfortable as an Ultra Boost. I mean, they're not as flexible, but like it's a very comfortable. I could see you having a pair you picked up as a GR next to the front door and just like going and doing stuff in them because they're that comfortable and easy to put on. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, but I also think I haven't paid full price for an Ultra Boost in quite a while, right? Like they've been on sale pretty heavily for the past year or two, it seems like. So it's still tough for me to get to that level. Like if I'm going to spend, $180 on a shoe, I'd rather it be like something that I'm really into, that I don't have a bunch of stuff, maybe like a LeBron 7, something that I feel is like, I don't know, more substantial in some way. I don't know. But Ultra Boosts seem to be like tired at this point, even though I love them and I wear them pretty regularly. And I think like there's been colorways of the Yeezys where I've been like, oh, I could do that. But I just don't trust. So I'm not going to pay full price for it when they're all over the place. And I don't really trust any of the platforms authenticating them because I've obviously worked for one of these authentication companies and I don't trust the process. I don't trust that the process exists anywhere without like directly partnering with Adidas at this point because the shoe is so simple. And, you can go on Instagram and people will follow you trying to sell you fake Yeezys at any moment. So I'm kind of just like, whatever about it. Now, getting out of like the 350 stuff, like I do like the 700. I like the, I kind of like the 380. I just don't think I would end up buying a pair, but yeah, I don't know. Shoes that I would probably spend too much money on. Reebok Question black toes that are coming out, the black toe and the gold accents. I don't know if I'm on my own on this one, but definitely would like to have those.
No, I'm not ashamed to say I'll pull a Nick on that one and do retail. I like Questions a lot. And that's a super, super clean and just simple colorway. It's like almost like a Defining Moments pack, but just for the Irisons with the white, black, and gold. So I think that that is a super solid pickup. If I'm able to, if I can't find exactly what I'm looking for this coming weekend, it's not a realm of possibilities I won't bring those home.
We don't even have to ask Robbie because it's a Reebok, right? So.
Yeah, we just can move on. It's like we know Robbie's thoughts. Just next.
How do I clap week. No Bach boys without like killing them? I just know I'm clapping when I say no Bach boys. They're cool though. It's not for me.
All right, so this month we got at least 4 dunks. No, 3, right? We got Safari dunks, Safari dunk lows, Syracuse dunk lows, Kentucky dunk lows, and I think there was another one that I saw somewhere that I'm forgetting.
Well, there's no, that was not until April.
Strawberry.
There's a strawberry something. Yeah, that's the 420 dunk. But I mean, at this point, it sucks because I think I've already mentioned this before. When I was a kid, it was so hard to get these like dunks that would come out because where I lived, there was just no there was no market for them. There was no accounts that had them. Then, as now as I'm older, where these things are coming back out, I can actually like have the money to buy them and have the means to find them. They're just getting more expensive. So I'm gonna try to buy each of those. Don't know the end result, but I think I would rather get 2 of those and spend $200 plus tax as opposed to one Yeezy and spending $230, or that one Foam Posit and spending $230.
That's a great point. You can get 2 of these, even though the sneaker gods will decide for you that you get 0 of 3. But you could, in theory, get more.
Let's not predestine myself
for the less. I forgot the Safari ones were dropping. The Air Max Safari and the OG colorway, I have it in the closet. One of my favorite shoes to wear. Like, when I look at it from afar, I think, oh, that's kind of crazy. But when you look down, that's a great colorway in that specific color usage. I don't want to see like plum, animal print, none of that. In this exact look, I love it. So I'll be trying to get all 3 of them unapologetically. If I get one of the 3, I'll be happy. But the Safari might be my favorite of them. But it's the other 2 are very close behind.
So I didn't personally cop any of the Sakai stuff. I do like the waffles. I like the gray pair that came out. It looks like we're going to get an all white and an all black later this month. What do you guys think of these?
I actually like these better. I like the kind of the solid color, monochrome colors better than the other ones that were coming out. I still don't really see myself trying for them, but if I had to, someone's like, hey, you can get them at retail, I wouldn't be mad at the black and white pair, or the black pair with the white midsole.
You couldn't give me these. You couldn't give me the waffle trainer, the blazer. I just don't like I don't think it's original or like cool or like avant-garde even to have like a shit ton of outsoles stacked up and midsoles and swooshes. It's like the definition of like, I feel mean saying it this way, but it's like, oh, we're out of ideas. Let's just like stack this shoe 3 feet tall and call her a day. Like I just don't like it.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I do think that at first glance, a lot of the stuff that's been coming out, like from these collaborators, especially the ones that are hyped up, are really like overly simple. Where it's like, come on, you could do better than that, right? But it is what it is. We're just the time we're in. I guess last but not least, the Nike basketball Oreo pack coming out on March 16th. Nike Freak 1 Oreo, Kyrie 6, and a PG4 Oreo. So I really like the PG4. The Oreo colorway is probably my favorite so far. So maybe cop, I don't know. It's inexpensive. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cop when I walk in the House of Hoops and bad boys say $69.99, and we'll have a conversation going on.
I like the Paul George 4 Oreo the most of all of them so far, too. The plaid one was kind of cool, but I'm just not going to wear a plaid basketball shoe. And Gatorade is an instant no. So of them, I like this Paul George 4. I like the design a lot. And I think this is a really good colorway. They do a black and white Paul George every year, almost every basketball shoe. And I think that's just a really good look for it.
Anything else on the radar for March, since we pretty much ran through most of the big releases for March?
I mean, since we talking about, we're talking about Little Supreme earlier. We just got done talking about some Oreo colored something. So, I mean, it would be a disservice to our listeners if we didn't bring up the nonsense that is the Supreme Oreo cookie.
You got to. Any episode isn't complete without ending with a Supreme Oreo cookie, much like a meal. So,
I mean, aren't they like $2 for a pack of 2? Which typically, if you go to a grocery store with a normal snack pack of Oreos, are like 60 cents. The profit is killing it with some red Oreos.
So it's supposed to be okay. Wait, what?
I saw some dude just like bake some fucking Oreos and put the Supreme logo on. Like, they look perfect, but yeah, he can just bake them.
Wait, he made his own Oreos?
Yes.
I'm more impressed by that than what. Like, hold on, I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Dope.
I don't know exactly how this worked out, but I saw somewhere that the 3-pack was going to be $8 on Supreme, right? It's like, okay, that's kind of the normal, hyped up price of things. But then there was like all these stories going around that like a box of them sold for $92,000 on eBay and all this stuff. And I'm looking on eBay right now and there's no Supreme Oreos, unless I'm doing something wrong.
Well, because they all been bought.
I can't find it. I can't. There's no way. It's not that serious, right?
I would hope not, but could you imagine like being like you're a collector of Supreme items, you invite some people over for like a party. Someone may just have a little bit too much to drink and they get hungry and someone just breaks open your Supreme Oreos and you bought them for $92,000 and they're gone.
You're like, I'll need a fecal sample to get those back in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's a no for me, dog.
There's too many scenarios where that can go wrong. Like, there's no reason to buy that ever. Just go buy some. There's some red velvet Oreos that are red and white just like those, and you can eat them. It's okay.
Yeah, see, somebody needs to just get the red velvets and customize them with a Supreme logo.
Yeah. See, are these even double stuffed, or are they just like the wimpy single stuff? Like, what we working with here?
Imagine paying $92,000 for some regular ass single stuffed Oreos.
I slap myself for doing.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand the funniness of it, the like commodity of it, the craziness of it. And if I walked into Supreme and they were sitting there, I would definitely get a pack. But it's just so ridiculous. But I think that's also what most people love about Supreme too. So I don't know.
Would this be in the same vein as those Travis Scott Reese's Puffs that people still try to sell for like $45 a box? When I walked into a grocery store 2 weeks ago and I saw them.
I mean, yeah, I ate my box of Travis Reese's Puffs. I mean, it was tasted just like normal Reese's Puffs.
They're just trying to recuperate their loss. So,
yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Let us know what you're looking at copping for the month of March. Obviously, there's quite a few things on the radar so far, and I'm sure we'll be talking about some more as the month goes on. It's what we're 2 days into it right now. So, again, we thank you all for supporting us, for rocking with us for 100 episodes, a full year of us bantering about sneakers. Kind of crazy that there's so many people out there listening to us. So I'm just really grateful that everybody is giving us a couple hours of their week to listen. So you can find me at Nick Ingval on all platforms. More importantly, just follow at Sneaker History on all platforms. And guys, let them know how they can find you.
Yeah, Mike Guillory. You can find me on Sneaker History as well. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789. And then on YouTube at Mike Guillory. And yeah, just to kind of echo what Nick said, thank you guys for rocking with us for 100 episodes, which has been an awesome year for us. And listen to our banter or just kind of nonsense. So, appreciate you guys. We're just trying to be a few normal guys who like sneakers and try not to pay retail for them.
Yeah, I can't say thank you enough. This has been the most fun outlet for sneakers I've had in my life. So it's been a really good time speaking with you two gentlemen and having everybody listen and give all kinds of feedback. So it means a lot. Let's follow Sneaker History and make sure you listen for the next 100 episodes.
For sure. We appreciate all of you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, I wanted to ask a couple favors of you. If you're interested in more content from the Sneaker History crew, become a member of our Patreon page where we post daily content, drop exclusive episodes, and host monthly giveaways. We'll even help you hunt for your grails. Check us out at patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Also, make sure you sign up for our email newsletter at sneakerhistory.com/email. We send out weekly updates on the footwear business and what we're working on here at Sneaker History. Last but not least, take a second to tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how much it means to someone, and it might even plant the seeds for something even bigger. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.